Hello, all. Welcome you all to the Lights On session of 2025, the first Lights On discussion session of 2025. So we have Vikram, myself, and Vijay is just joining us. So so today we'll be talking about the top number one film in the IMDb top 250. That's Shawshank Redemption, starring I mean, when I அந்த Shawshank Redemption சொல்லும்போது the first thing that I'm not able to the Tim Robbins name is not coming to my mind. It's Andy Dufresne is what is coming to my mind. So it stars Tim Robbins, Morgan Freeman, um, and a plethora of amazing actors. So okay, um, hey Vijay, thanks for joining.
Hey, hi guys. I'm having dinner, so just
Hey,
10 minutes. You
no
talk, I
problem,
will listen.
no problem, no problem. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Vikram, do you want to go first or shall I go?
I'll go first. So I think like every one of us, even I got introduced to the film because it's IMDb number one. And I believe everyone can resonate with my thought. As after I finished the film, it was more than a decade back. I didn't understand why it's considered the greatest of all films. That's the notion it gives, right? That IMDb top 10 or top 250. That's the notion it gives. I watched other films, அந்த Pulp Fiction and எனக்கு 12 அந்த அந்த டாப் 10 அந்த பேர் அது அந்த டாப் 10 நம்ம பார்த்த படத்துல எனக்கு பிடிச்ச படம் 12 ஆங்கிரி மேன் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் எனக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிச்சி ஓகே இதுப்பா இப்படிலாம் படம் எடுக்க முடியுமா ஒரு இடத்துல வச்சு எடுத்திருக்காங்க அந்த அந்த ஒரு வாவ் ஃபேக்டர் இருந்தது. பட் ஷாஷங்க் ரிடம்ஷன் when I watched then it was not like that. இப்போ வந்து yeah I can understand it's a good film, but uh, I still don't understand why so many like the film. I think there's some cultural gap between us and the Americans. அது ஒரு விஷயமான்னு எனக்கு தெரியல. That's one of the things which I feel is what I don't understand why it's so great a film. But I watched I think இன்னொரு ஃபேமஸ் படம் கூட இருக்குல்ல Green Mile. It's by the same
Green.
director, right? Yeah. I've seen few people call that their all time favorite. எனக்கு அந்த படமும் வந்து ரொம்ப எல்லாம் பிடிக்கல. Okay, yeah, it was good. Maybe this director is not for me, or எனக்கு தெரியல என்ன what's the real problem. But one thing with Shawshank Redemption is அந்த மத்த படத்துல எல்லாம் இந்த ஜெயில் படமா இருந்தாலும் ஒண்ணு அது டார்ச்சரா இருக்கும், ஆர்எல்ஸ் அது எஸ்கேப் ஆகி வர்ற அந்த அந்த நோஷன் இருக்கும். அந்த ரெண்டு இதுல வந்து வில் see it like a thriller. அது வந்து நம்ம we don't really feel like we have been in the jail. We just need to get out of the jail. அந்த அந்த இது வராது. அந்த எப்படியா தப்பிச்சுப்போம், அந்த நெயில் பைட்டிங் இது வரும், இல்லைன்னா பாவம் பாக்குற மாதிரி வரும். பட் இதுல வந்து கொஞ்சம் அது வேற மாதிரி இருந்தது. அந்த ஐ டோன்ட் நோ வாட் டு கால் அந்த சேட்னஸா என்னன்னு தெரியல, ஒரு மாதிரி இருக்கும். அண்ட் த மெயின் டேக் அவே ஃபார் மீ இஸ் அந்த இதுல சொல்லுவாங்கல்ல மார்கன் ஃப்ரீமன் சொல்றது தான் இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷனலைஸ் எப்படி ஆகும்ங்கிற இது வந்து எனக்கு அந்த ஜெயிலே அந்த மாதிரி தோணுச்சு. படம் பார்த்துட்டே இருக்கப்போ இட் ஃபெல்ட் லைக் பார்ட் ஆஃப் லைஃப். அந்த அந்த ஒரு ஃபீல் வந்துச்சு. இட் ஜெனரலி டசன்ட் ஹேப்பன் இன் ஜெயில் ஃபிலிம்ல, இந்த பிரசன்ட் ஃபிலிம்ல அந்த அந்த ஃபீலிங் வந்துச்சு. அண்ட் அதுதான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஃபியூ தாட்ஸ் ஆஃப் த ஃபிலிம் அதுதான்.
Okay, interesting. Um, okay, Srivatsa, do you want to go next?
I should.
I
I'll just be here for 5 minutes. Sorry, I just wanted to keep in touch on this, right? So yeah, this is on Shashank Redemption, right? Yeah, I heard what Vikram said towards the end, right? That this director probably is not for him, and his movies doesn't really stick to him. But I didn't get his primary thoughts on Shashank Redemption as such, right? But Shashank Redemption for me was the first time watch was okay-ish. I think I watched it in 99 times, right? But then on repeated viewings, I think it gave me even goosebumps.
Your voice is
yeah,
okay.
I think so. There is an internet problem for him, I guess. Um, okay, let's wait for him to come back. Hey, Praveen. Hi, Praveen. Thank you so much for joining.
Uh, Hi, Ashwin.
Hey, Praveen, do you want to go in the meantime?
Uh,
Your opinion
sure.
on the film? Did you like the film?
Yes, of course. I watched it a long time ago, and yeah, it's been a while since I joined this one. Yeah, that is so. What I felt is that when I first watched, it was insisting from my friends only because they only came to me and told that this is one of the best films. Just watch this one. I
Mm,
was just confused and whether I should proceed on that because during that time I was watching only like commercial kind of Hollywood films like Matrix or those kind of a science fiction kind of a genre. So this one, okay, let me try it. So that came into my picture. Okay, I felt like at that moment it was like soothing, relieving, and it was different. But when I watched it after 5 years or 10 years on every span, so that was during what to say, it's like 10 years before or around that time I watched it first time, and I watched it repeatedly. So there was a time when I read about French Revolution.
mm,
So during that, it was mentioned about the marriage of Figaro. So that book that was mentioned in one of his. He tried to write it for the government, and I think they would lend him that Marriage of Figaro book to his library, and also he placed that record also, and for that he was punished and put it into asylum, separate asylum for that.
mm,
When I
mm,
tried to know why they did it, so that provoked me to look into again to read about French Revolution, and there also they mentioned the marriage of Figaro, and that same marriage of Figaro is mentioned in one of the movie. If you had watched it, that is Amadeus.
mm,
That is Mozart piece. Yeah,
mm,
that is one
mm,
of the Mozart's piece. So why that story is why this has been came into picture. So and every French Revolution, if you look into their historians, they will mention that this is the particular story that created the revolution. And so it is like he's trying to do like overthrow the god, who's that whoever that is authority. So it
mm,
is like proving them that anyone who's been misjudged or mistreated, so he wanted to take a revenge. Any average person can take a revenge, and they could overthrow that. So that is the underlying. I could find it now. So I found it that, oh, this is the underlying tone. So that is why that jailer or whatever, he tried to oppose when he tried to play that piece. And also it is the same piece that is being disregarded by the King Frederick, and also same way King Louis XVI. Yeah, he also just made that. It is when it tried to play that place. I think they tried to play it during the French, before the French Revolution or 5 years before. So they tried to play it in Paris, I think, that play,
mm,
that Marriage of Figaro play. And King Louis XVI, he tried to watch it and censor it. So they tried to cancel those things. It is, if you take it in today's consideration, it's just like a censor. So King
mm,
will watch it and try to remove that part wherever there is provoke, or it is wherever there is a mention of we need to fight for that against the lords. Actually, that story, if I could tell that, it's like works this way. Like a small, a normal guy, and his name is Figaro. He tries to marry his another counterpart, and they both are from a different lords. They work for a different lords, and that lord, during that time, during the French Revolution, the lord has uh, say he has permission to to take a bride before the marriage. So that is like works in that way during that period in the Middle Ages. So he tries to fight with the king, so to the Lord, and using that, the story revolves around that way. So that is what every king in Europe were really afraid. Oh, this story might, if it comes into people, they might take it into hands and they might find it easy to make it. So that is the underlying thing about this story also. So that is what I found it in this one. So beyond that, I find it very good acting from Morgan Freeman. And that's the
So
underlying part. Yeah.
just to understand the context, the marriage of Figaro is the operatic music that plays on in that prison yard scene, right?
Yes.
He locks the door and plays that.
Yes.
Okay. Now I got it. Okay. So there is a funny thing. There is a reference to another French Revolution, not exact, slightly post French Revolution book is Alexander Dumas's the Count of Monte Cristo,
Yes.
and
Yes. Yes.
I that joke about Alexander Dumas's name is
Yeah.
still so
Yes.
fresh in my head. The way he says Alexander Dumbasis, I
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
it is a
Yeah.
it is a terrific one.
That is what still now if you see, I think even in American Revolution also, that is one of the few part that it played into that American Revolution. So same their this book, especially Marriage of Figaro, in every upper class society they would be afraid of this story. So that is what it plays like, how to say, it is like some underlying something is working beyond them, and they are trying to plan it, and so that the upper hierarchy is getting afraid.
Yeah, I think it's Maxim Gorky's mother set in the eight mid 1800s, I guess.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Um. Okay. We have Shrivatsa back. Hey, hey, bro.
Hey, my
Go ahead.
laptop is creating problems, but yeah, if others want to continue, they can as well. But if I got cut off, don't wait for me, please.
Sure, sure,
So
sure.
that's the first
Go
thing.
on.
So yeah, as I said, right, I mean, the second and third was after 2003 for seven timelines and all that. I learned more about Frank Darabont, in terms of his films and all that, especially after the Green Mile. Green Mile, of course, as Vikram says, it is a great movie, right? But if it doesn't reach the heights of what Shawshank Redemption tries to achieve, right? Of course, they are completely different in aspects. But yeah, Shawshank Redemption. Coming back to that, of course, with all its flaws, I think it is one of the finest, screenplays written. Of course, flaws. It's not a masterpiece, but it's not a masterpiece. But given the way it moves around and it reveals itself, right? It kind of gets into that. It doesn't reveal what is going to come towards the end, right? It was gonna be a real nice, touchy movie and all that, but it suddenly reveals itself, with a beautiful, ending, right? The ending is very similar to how, in the same year, Usual Suspects reveals itself, the villain, right? It is kind of, if you see this guy walks outside, with the shoes and all that, they reveal it later. And similarly, in Usual Suspects, they kind of do that in a way, right? They all came out in a great year, and I mean, more than comparing it with any film, it stands on its own as a great piece of work, right? And Frank Darabont somehow is a very underrated director. Sorry, Vikram, I mean, if I contradict you, but for example, Mist, right? It is just the opposite of this movie, right? The whole movie, it doesn't give you any hope at all in Shawshank Redemption. Towards the end, it is all about hope. But Mist is just the other way, right? It gives you hope all along, and towards the end, it shatters everything, right? So that guy has that way of doing things, which I kind of like. Unfortunately, he did not make much, and all that. This is a good thing, bad thing, sorry. And in terms of acting and of course narration, everyone talks about Morgan Freeman, especially from that movie. Especially, the character Red stands much more than even the title characters, the protagonist characters titles, right? That's how much impact he had. I don't see. I mean, we can see Andy being played by anybody, but Red, I don't think, except for Morgan Freeman, anybody could have played that character, right?
No.
Of course, there are quotable lines from that movie than anything else in that timeline. Of course, the same year, Forrest Gump, Pulp Fiction, Usual Suspects, and all this came, and in the same year is something that gives me goosebumps till now. So yeah, I'll kind of wrap there because yeah, I'll have to jump off in a while. I'd like to hear from others also. Ashwin.
ஐ திங்க் நம்ம எப்போ ஆபீஸ்ல பேசிட்டு இருந்தப்பவும் இதே டிஸ்கஷன் தான் நடந்தது. நான் இந்த மாதிரி ஷாஷாங்க் வந்து எனக்கு பெருசா பிடிக்கல, இது ஏன் நம்பர் 1ல இருக்கும், நீங்க அதே மிஸ்ட் தான் எக்ஸாம்பிள் சொன்னீங்க. அப்ப நான் சொன்னது என்னன்னா, ஐ தாட் மிஸ்ட் வாஸ் எம் நைட் ஷியாம்லான்ஸ் ஃபிலிம். இட் சோ ஃபீல்ஸ் லைக் எம் நைட் ஷியாம்லான்ஸ் ஃபிலிம். அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் நீங்க சொன்னதுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் எனக்கு ஸ்ட்ரைக் ஆச்சு, ஓகே மிஸ்ட் இவர் படமா.
Correct. See, it is cheap in all aspects as Shyamalan's, scares and all that, right? Mist. Towards the end, it becomes a very different movie altogether, right? Shyamalan wouldn't do that.
It's
In fact,
depressing.
Stephen King, correct. Stephen King had a different ending for that movie, and this guy turned it around, which Stephen King liked, right? That is the power of that ending. I mean, if you just type in out anywhere, and you will find most depressing movie ending, or அந்த மாதிரி ஏதாவது சர்ச் பண்ணாலும் இமிடியேட்டா மிஸ்ட் தான் டாப் ஆஃப் தி லிஸ்ட்ல வரும். அந்த மாதிரியான ஒரு விஷயம். I watched it in theaters and I was like 3 days ஐயோ என்னடா எடுக்கிறீங்க பாருங்க. I haven't met Praveen and Vijay, I guess. I've met Ashwin and Vikram in person, so yeah.
Hey, hi, sure.
Yeah, Vijay, you want to go now?
Yeah, yes, sure.
Go.
So, like what Vikram said, right? The first time when he watched it, even I got the same feeling that why is it considered as a greatest film or something like that. The first time I saw it, like I just got the last part, that the climax is just the twist in the end, and that's it. So that was the takeaway for me. But later on, I think I watched it the second time, maybe after 5 years or something. So that time I got to take a like all those whatever read he says about the things and all the institutionalization and everything. So major part of the movie I got it from the second viewing. Uh, uh, Apart from that, like obviously it is one of my movies where if I want if I want to just revisit and get get away from whatever I'm going through. So that is one of my movies, just to just to escape from my world. So that is one of my movies uh, in my list, like Lunchbox and all that. Coming to the movie, like I think I heard that even Andy as so Tom Hanks was asked to play as Andy. That's what I heard the rumors. First they approached him, and then I think he was doing Forrest Gump, so he had to reject this. He had to choose any one of them basically. So yeah, so that's why Tim Robbins got this Andy role. That I don't know, like I cannot imagine now how Tom Hanks would be in this role. But obviously, yeah, as Shivatsa said, like Morgan Freeman, no one can replace that role because of the the weight in his voice and the way he has given the commentary all through the movie. And apart from that, like so Frank Darabont, I don't understand why he stopped directing the movies after I think Green Mile, right? That is the last movie he directed the movie, or
Mist is after that,
Mist
isn't
was
it?
the
Mist is there.
probably the
Mist probably is the last film, I guess.
correct.
so that was released in the year like
Uh,
recently?
Best in
Should be
2007.
2008 types. 7, 8
Green
types.
Mile
Okay.
in 99.
99.
Okay. 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 Right.
I think
So
he's
yeah.
following the. I mean, I think Tyagarajan Kumar Raja is following that template again. One
Yeah.
film every 5 6 years. At least this guy has been writing films in the middle too.
That's
Unlike
right.
Yeah, that's what that and I think both Green Mile is also based on Stephen King novel,
Stephen. Yeah, I
right?
think all three are Stephen King.
Correct.
Shawshank
Uh,
Redemption is Rita Hayworth and Shawshank
yeah.
Redemption. I think that's a short novella, I guess. This one,
Yeah.
Green Mile, it's a big novel. I've not read Mist though. Mist, I don't know whether it's a novel
Uh,
or a proper novel.
Yeah. I think Majestic
uh,
was this movie which was kind of underwhelming for me if we are talking about Darabont. But of course, it was not Stephen King's novel. I think he
Mm.
directed Majestic as well. Yeah, Jim Carrey's.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
okay.
basically Shashank Redemption. The problem with us is we did not we retrospectively watch it, right? Being in that time, see that's a problem with most of the movies, right? I mean, even for us, right? For example, if you take African Queen or most of Bogart's movie, Humphrey Bogart's movie, I feel very underwhelmed when I Maltese Falcon for that matter. Yeah, it is a great movie, right? But you know but I try to sit into that period, see what how has technology grown up to only that point, and after not after that, and what are the movies that have come previous to that and all that. Then we will realize how good that movie is, right? But it is hard to do it for every movie. But then I think to get the best experience out of it, I mean that's the way we should do it, right? That's how I started enjoying Shashank Redemption.
Shivat sir, did you say like you watched it in theaters?
No, no, no. The Mist was
Oh,
the one that I watched in theaters. This
okay.
I did not. Yeah.
But
Okay.
is Shawshank Redemption more an American thing? That's my question. Would it appeal for American people more than us?
No, I think the
I don't
biggest
think
the
so.
bi- the biggest reason that Shawshank Redemption is see there is this Anand used to talk generally about the difference between Annamalai and Basha to for us to connect a bit more. The reason Basha is very famous is because Basha Sun TV got the rights for it, and Annamalai Raj TV got the rights for it, and you will see that you always watch Basha in a much better quality in your television compared to Annamalai. Somehow Annamalai, the way Raj TV, I don't know if it is a problem with the transmission or Sun TV controlling everything and all that. What is the reason? But it's so substandard, right? Now, but as a film, Annamalai for a lot of people is a far better film than this thing. The reason I'm giving that example is. Shawshank Redemption is one of those films that became a huge success in cable television and the DVD market. So you'll see. So one Reddit user gave this theory that the reason Shawshank Redemption is at the top because the users of IMDb, the masses who use IMDb, they are the biggest consumers of cable television. So they have watched it. It's like how Rhythm is a much successful film on TV. All credits to Sun TV. So it's similar to that. So you have it's those people who have voted it again and again, and beyond that point, once it has reached the top, I think it's just after
Staying there.
that, yeah, it'll just stay there. That's the
But
I
while I agree with your comparison, I still think Basha is a better film than Anomaly. Yeah, but yeah, I mean I understand about the Raj TV thing. I mean the moment you think about Raj TV, all that comes is the bad quality than anything else. Of course, I
yeah,
think the one good thing that they did was Michael Manakamaraj buying Manakamaraj and making it a big hit, right? Yeah, guys. So I'm joining another call. Of course, Ashwin, thank you for making it Sunday because usually Sundays I'll be able to join then on Saturdays.
definitely.
But today the
We're
call
very
that
happy
usually
to have
happens
you
on
here.
Saturday, usually that call that happens on Saturday, right? That has moved to Sunday today. Just a one-off current. So I'll be
Sure.
joining, trying to join every time, guys.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I'll have
Shawshank.
to go
Yeah,
now.
carry
We'll
on.
be very happy to have you. Please join us.
Sure, Vikram. Thank you. Bye.
So for me, the part that of course the whenever you think of Shawshank Redemption, it starts with the ending, right? That's the first thing that comes to your mind, and I love that part. Um, uh, I couldn't watch the entire film yesterday for the session, but uh, one this the Brooks was here, and then so was Red. That portion, right? That is an amazing short film in itself. You forget about the film. That portion of Brooks getting released from the prison, and uh, the concept of this is the first film that taught me the word institutionalization. Until that point, I did not even know what that word was. So that part, and that how it connects to Morgan Freeman getting released from the prison, and him facing similar ordeal as Brooks, and but with a different happy ending with in Morgan Freeman's case. That portion was terrific. What for whatever the you it just that as a 10 to 15 minute short film will for me it'll work great. So that is something, and of course the opera scene that Praveen mentioned, that is one of my favorite. The way the whole scene plays out is really amazing. It's uh, the taking a pause from your whatever you keep doing to listen to something like that is something else. In one of our discussions, I think Vikram mentioned about I was talking about Katal the Core, the film, the Malayalam film, and there is a scene of the camera stays till the car leaves a street, uh, and I was telling Vikram that why are they uh, uh, kind of time is of the essence. Why do you have to keep the camera there? And Vikram reminded me of how how we are so the time invest. We think of watching a film as an investment, investing our time, and we want everything to be so crisp. Now there's just it's just an artistry to you just sit there and enjoy what is shown to you rather than expecting something else. That scene of him pausing everything and listening to that was what it felt, something like that. I love the terrace scene where the way that the whole scene happens with them speaking about the get busy living or get busy dying part and all that. It's such a terrific scene. And just one thing I wanted to mention is uh, I have just watched that scene in the Tamil dubbed version of that, and MS Bhaskar did the dubbing for Morgan Freeman. It's terrific. How MS Bhaskar did that was terrific. I think it's one of those. He pulls off the MS Bhaskar pulls off the emotion that Morgan Freeman brings out. One more thing I noticed this time is how the religion and power goes hand in hand. There is references to religion throughout the film, right from the beginning. Warden starts with that line says, I believe in two things. One is the Bible and discipline. This is a great example of how religion is being used by power to justify the autocracy that it imposes. The dictatorship that it imposes on its wards. That if you consider that prison as kind of a country, right? Warden is its dictator, and how he uses religion to justify that. That is something that I did not feel it the first time, but yesterday it was like it was staring at me in my face, kind of a feeling. That was amazing. Um, the overall part about whether this film is worthy of, I mean, whether it is a the IMDb top 250 thing. See, for me, the biggest thing is like this. Um, Godfather is number 2 on the list. You put Godfather in number 20, you will always ask the question, hey, come on, that's far better than 20. Will be your first thing that you put an Apocalypse Now in 50, you will say that it's far better and it deserves to be in the top 10. Now you put this film in 20, you will not have any problem with that. You put this film in 45, you will not have any problem. No one is going to come arguing that hey, this is a film that deserves to be in the top 5. You know, the only reason people are justifying that why it should be in the top 5 is because it's there in the top 5, and no one knows how it came to the top 5. So it's one of those films that is the reason why I feel like it's not a it has a clean structure to it. It has a clean execution to it. It's one of those films you can say, in terms of filmmaking, the filmmaking techniques, writing, music, and all that. Uh, it's all the basics were done to perfection. So you will see the transition from one scene to another in a very very seamless sort of way, that you will be basically they did all the simple things right. Unlike, let's say you have a 12 Angry Men kind of film where there is a lens change from the beginning to the end. As the film progresses, the film becomes very claustrophobic. It starts focusing. You will start feeling the claustrophobia in that room as you go along. Or let's say a Godfather where you don't see the eye of none of the characters. You can see them, see their eyes. It's lit in such a way that you cannot see their eyes. The That sort of uh, uh, cinematic brilliance, is what I don't see it in the film. It's a generic good film with lot of it's a very well made film. No offense to the film. It is a very well made film, but it is a very basic and generic film that was done well. Beyond that, IMDb top 250 is absolutely the I think some kind of upvoting. Someone has the large chunk of population. I think they've gone on and voted it. Other than that, um, I did not find anything very very the same feeling. Whatever is the feeling that I had when I watched it multiple times over the years. It's the same kind of feeling. Um, uh, but yeah, the for me the biggest takeaway are the how the religion is being shown. That is an amazing. That's a very accurate portrayal. And Mr. Morgan Freeman. I mean, that guy is his he defines the story. I mean, it's basically his perspective. What we hear is his perspective, right? His how he sees Andy, how he sees the world, and that is just yeah. He takes the film up by a notch. You That's the thing. It's all these individual parts. It's one of those films where the sum of its parts is just so amazing that you uh, it, it it just engrosses you into it. It just pulls you completely into it. So that's what I'm thinking. Um,
But when we say that it is being number one and all the logic behind it, and the way you said that there is something cinematic about Godfather, be it Pulp Fiction, 12 Angry Men, and all that, right? Maybe it's a testament of the fact that people are eventually a film is about feel. So I think that's where this film wins, I believe. And people who are watching, and there's a dialogue about hope, right? Maybe people who really feel whatever Vijay told, that whenever he's down and want to go out of his zone, he would watch this film. I think that's what the film wants to do, and the film does it superbly, I believe. My problem was, see, it can how we generally approach a film is, or when a film becomes great, sorry, when there's a film which we watch and we don't know that it's already great, that we give a genuine opinion. And once we understand that, once it becomes great, right, then we get irritated that it has become so great. The classic example which happened for me is Hurt Locker. I watched it without knowing that it's for Oscars and all that, and I was genuinely amazed. But how superb the film was, and then it got nominated to Oscars, and then it got so many awards, and everyone started talking about Hurt Locker. I was not able to digest that so many people could like that film, right? It's not a normal film. Hurt Locker is something terrific. But at that point I was also trying to demean the film, because it got an Oscar. It is kind of something like this for Shawshank also. But what I could feel is like you told, I watched it fully last week, but I couldn't feel that there's nothing tense in the film. It's not something which we would like want to see in the next scene what is going to happen and all that, right? So that was not happening. And there's another film in the top list, Citizen Kane. Citizen Kane is not a film which, like, I would say that I enjoy every scene of it, or there's something which keeps me intrigued. But I would like to rewatch that film again and again, which I'm not feeling really for Shawshank Redemption. When you give me a choice, I would rather watch between two films that I don't like. I would rather choose Citizen Kane to rewatch than to watch a Shawshank Redemption. That's why I was trying to get whether there is anything which is alien to us, which we are not really understanding. Maybe whatever Praveen told could be one of the things. If this film or any act of it is used as a propaganda, right? Then there's a chance that there's a large section of people who might like it, or there's a certain section of people who can watch, like how It's a Wonderful Life would work for anyone who knows about Christmas, right? So something like that. That I was thinking whether there is any connection. I wanted to know if I couldn't read about it. I couldn't get in. But there might be a chance that this could also be a reason that so many people like it, just merely watching that as a plain film.
it's
Yeah,
it's
actually, it is what you and Vikram has mentioned. So it is like, so if you see the American society or constitution lies under the, what to say, liberty of a free man. So that is what it is. That is what the American Revolution also accomplishes. So they wanted to free away from the king. So it is like a challenge to the authority. So that is what it is underlying. It tries to pull in that way. So the same way, it felt like maybe the Americans might have felt during that 90s or late 90s. I think there is some kind of a recession, I believe, so during that time. So they might be thinking that it's a rat race they are running. They are being institutionalized by the American society, trying to buy them or try to control them. So maybe people might have felt that way. So they wanted, like Andy finally, and he gets liberated into going into Mexico. So why he chose Mexico, maybe that might be the reason. So that is how I see. So how he's getting away from the America. So America is all about its freedom, free man. So that is what they try to pull it out. But now it is not like that. So in the current contemporary society, they might have felt that, oh, this is not good. So they might felt that, okay, going to Mexico is, so people are or connected in that way. Maybe that felt them that hope, that new America. So they needed something. So maybe I believe that maybe that might have caused them to create this nostalgia experience and going along with the hope, like Vijay mentioned. So the feelings came into the picture. But if you see, apart from that, if you take away all these things, we don't feel connected much. It's like normal, just like that. Yeah.
And
For me, the
main
emotion is really, I'm able to connect with the emotion though. That is the emotion of that different stages that he goes through. See, Andy's character, initially it is see, after the overall story is done, right, we know that he's wrongly accused. He did not kill his wife and her lover. So he did not commit the crime. So he's wrongly put in prison. Now the first part is he knows that he's innocent. So there is a denial phase. Then he tries to make a life around life for himself in the prison. Something purposeful. I love that scene where he asks one of the prison guards, "Do you want to go? Do you want your son to go to Harvard or Yale?" It's and how he the different phases that he goes through, and finally with him, he tries to make a living there, but it becomes completely he's unable to digest the fact that there is a way that his he can be proved that can be proved that he's innocent, and he can be let out of the prison, but the warden does not allow him to. Now that is the point where he completely goes off track and decides he wants to escape. So the emotion is very very very. I was able to connect with the emotion. I, I really don't think this is very um, it is very American society specific uh, emotion. That is it is probably, if you take It's a Wonderful Life or Casablanca, those films, probably it is very American specific. Especially a film like It's a Wonderful Life is very American centric, because that concept of buying homes in the post World War, the early the 40s and 50s is how this concept of American dream was getting sold to the world. So that is a very more American film than this one. um, they have very intentionally, they don't mention anything about which state, which part of the America Shawshank prison is in. So there is only one mention where the judge, when he's giving the sentencing, he tells that based on the state laws of the state of Maine. So Maine is, it's uh, that's the only mention of a state where the story is happening. Otherwise, the you'll have a diverse demography inside the prison. It's not one single demography. There are a lot of prisons which are very very Afro-American prisoners, who were just charged for some petty crimes which are not even a crime now, for marijuana possession and all that. So it does not feel like that. It's very there's so much diversity there. You'll see every white and black in that prison. So I think it's not very, the story is not very, very American. It is. I think it is intentionally said to be kind of universal. They say this, right? You get very specific, and so that you can make it very universal. I felt that was the intention of the story. It would have been very easy for them to say Shawshank prison in mine, or there is this state where Stephen King lives. I went to see his mansion and take a photo from outside. So I forgot which state that comes in. It's kind closer to Maine, because on the way to Maine only I went to his mansion to see it from outside. So it could have been that state also where he lives, but they don't talk about that. It's the emphasis is given to the prison's name is Shawshank. That's it. So I think it is not meant to um, um, uh, meant to show as an American story. Rather the universal thing is what they try to capture.
Also, the title of that film worked better than the books. Right? Book says Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption. There's a chance that because of all the Prison Break movies that we have seen, there's a chance that we would imagine something happening behind that Rita Hayworth's picture. So that without that name, it worked even better for a film. It was absolutely something which we didn't even think of, especially when he's trying to get adjusted to the prison so much. And yeah, one thing I
Yeah.
forgot to mention is the voiceover of this film. I think when we think of voiceover, this is the first film which will strike our mind, I believe, right? Even though Scorsese does it in every film, and Goodfellas tops it, and there are a few great films like 500 Days of Summer and all. There are films, and in Tamil, obviously Gautam's films. But the very mention of voiceover, it will land to this film only, I believe, and that's where the voice of Morgan Freeman got fixed to all Indians, anyone who's new to Hollywood. I think we all would have watched this film, like how Praveen watched by when some of his friends told that it's at the top. I think all of us would have watched when someone would have told that this is at the top, and then we would have Googled Morgan Freeman, then the voiceover, what voiceover means. I think Morgan Freeman defined voiceover, I guess, more than what we know of Morgan Freeman. The same thing like how Amitabh Bachchan would be used in Bollywood, right? The moment we think of voiceover, you would want Amitabh Bachchan's voice. So that was something which I thought that Morgan Freeman made it his own. Voiceover means it's Morgan Freeman.
I mean, he has this deep voice, right? Deep masculine voice that works great in you. I mean, not lot of actors have that kind of they can pull off such voiceover. You think of David Attenborough, who did the voiceover for the Our Planet series and several other documentaries. You think of Morgan Freeman. The moment that that deep voice comes out, right? It kind of creates this haunting haunting sound in your mind that you cannot shake that off. That's the part that someone like Gautam Menon misses is he tries to use his lead actors to do the voiceover. Now the problem is that you not all the actors have that kind of a deep voice. There's a uh, the 5 minutes voiceover in Ponniyin Selvan with Kamal works a lot better than the entire film of Dhanush talking in Enai Payum Tota. It's because Kamal has this deep voice, or at least he can bring out that deep voice. He can bring out that deep voice that is needed for a voiceover. And even in English, someone like Benedict Cumberbatch has that kind of, he can bring out. I think they seem to be more great voice actors too. Not just performance acting, but visual acting, but voice acting too. They are so good. So they are able to bring out talk from talk using their throat, so that that deepness comes out. I try to do that for my short film. That's what I tried. I tried to speak from the throat. The problem is it's so difficult when you do that. It becomes you'll start coughing immediately. You start trying to talk from the throat. You'll start coughing, and so you'll have to do one few sentences at a time. So it's hard. The reason I remember that so well is I did a audiobook recording, a short story recording as a gift to my nephew. So I did one of PG Udav's short stories, and for the Jeeves character, I tried to do kind of a deep voice, and I couldn't do it. I was just my wife was hearing me cough. Yeah, so
That's one of the reason where for actor Vikram it works, right, because he was a dubbing artist. You can't see him act bad in any of the films because he can talk like that. You can't just beat even with eyes closed. You know that it's good acting. That's one of the things that you do. And this guy, we of course we talk only about Morgan Freeman as soon as we say Shawshank Redemption, but Tim Robbins also is very underrated. He's I don't know whether he has described him aptly or he had acted it so perfect for that words. Like he would, when Morgan Freeman first time he says that he would be like a man who would make anyone restless because he would be walking in the jail as if he's strolling around the park, and that's the point where he would be having pocket in his hands and he'll be walking there, and in the climax they will show what he has done. Actually the sands will fall down, right? And it's not that one scene. That's a scene where he buys beer for his group, and then he sees the sunlight and he says just sits like it, and the very famous opera scene where after he plays that he will sit and he will have that face, right? I think that's something either he has absorbed it so much or it's some brilliant casting, either of one of them, but he's someone who's like he's made for this film, I feel.
Yeah, the movie is made is like it gives a novel kind of feeling, I think, there and there. So his face, the way he's acting, and the way Morgan Freeman is narrating. So I think Frank Darabont wanted to. He had a very clear picture of how to do it, but obviously there was not. It's not a cinematic masterpiece as what Ashwini was saying, because I don't know. Like even Roger Deakins, he's the cinematographer, right? If you see his other movies, there are many brilliant. No Country for Old Men, Blade Runner are there. So, but he also says it was just a yeah, it was just a simple movie which did not have much of that. And one more thing, like the fact I think I don't know if you know that this movie tanked in the box office.
Mm.
Initially, all the critics were giving like rubbish whatever reviews and all that. So Morgan Freeman was saying that in one of his, I think there was a reunion between Morgan Freeman, Tim Robbins, and some people just maybe like 5 6 years ago, some 20 years or something like that. So they were having this kind of discussion, and even Morgan Freeman did not have many movies. He also, his career only grown after this movie. That's what he admits to, because of his voice. That was one of the major reason. Yeah, yeah,
oh my God, it has crossed 30 years now from the
yeah.
time it's released.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Actually, if you see, Morgan Freeman's voice also has different tones. During this movie, his nasal tone is little bit down. Now, if you see, his nasal tone has been more. So, like that sound of nasal tone is more now. If you see in more of his movies currently, even in the Gone Baby Gone, I believe he was a police officer, right? So,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
there also, if you see, he has that same tone. But currently, recent years, if you see, his tone is more reduced to the nasal tone. He's not using that deep playing voice as this one. This one is he's much more younger, and that felt a little bit more soothing that time. But also it's
Yeah.
scary a bit. So he knows how to play his vocals during that time. It's not supporting, I believe now because of his age. They are, but the problem is they are now focusing more on his voice rather than his works what he had done articulated during that time. So it worked naturally for him. So that is what I'm feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, nowadays we see a lot of history, alien movies, alien documentaries, or something like that. I think his voiceover will be there.
Yeah.
Actually, I did not realize that Roger Deakins is the cinematographer for the
Yeah,
like.
that's surprising. That's what, man.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah. That I'm now only I'm hearing it. Yeah.
I
Oh.
think see, Frank Darabont as a director doesn't want anything loud, I believe, and he has intention is intentionally making it slow. Also, I guess. Uh, I hate to say that word, but more his films were slow and boring. Even Green Mile, and this one, it could have. See, I'm okay with this pace and all. It's not that I have not watched movies slower than this, but this feels slow. It maybe it's intentional, and even Green Mile feels the same way. It's a jail, and it takes a lot of time to process. In fact, I like Mist a lot better. Like what Srivas had told, it's opposite to other films. Maybe I did because it didn't give me that Frank Darabont vibe. Because of that, I get like Mist better, I believe. But yeah, this that's one of the things which doesn't work for me. With the pace of the movie was not to how I wanted it to be.
my problem with the pacing is just only one thing. Um, See, the stories that work great are the ones where you know where it is going towards, what it is building to. This story unfortunately does not, although on rewatches it has clues as to that Count of Monte Cristo is a giveaway. But on your first watch you are not going to feel that the film is building towards a prison escape scene. You don't feel that. So the same problem with Usual Suspects too. You will not know that where it is building to. Is it building to Kaiser Soze, and who Kaiser Soze is? No, it does not do that. Somehow it's kind of like a series of events. Suddenly it comes to this ending that will kind of very chilling, or even Sixth Sense for that matter. You will not know that the film is building to that. So it's the ending that is amazing. But you take something like a Citizen Kane. You What the film builds up to is told in the first scene. So you are beyond the brilliance of the writing and the performance and all that. You are still hooked to that story because you want to know what Rosebud is. It's something that, because the journalist, after intermittently he comes in, and he reminds us that he's still trying to figure out what Rosebud is. So I think for me, a story like that um, uh, gives me um, uh, one film that does not follow that structure, something like Forrest Gump. Even that, you don't know what it is building to. It is um, but the big difference is Forrest Gump is actually more intertwined with American history than any other film that I have watched. So even Forrest Gump, you'll not have any idea what is going to come next. It's um, kind of it kind of unravels, and it's kind of sequence of events only, right? Nothing more than that. I think that is the I don't know if it's a changing mindset for us, how we are consuming films, how we what kind of stories work for us. I don't know what is the reason, but that is a key thing that I am looking for in films these days, which is at least a fair idea as to what that film is building towards. The um, uh, complete not knowing where that film is going towards is not working for me these days. When I watched Shawshank Redemption first time, second time, I think the the film is engrossing enough to not worry about where it is going towards. But when you start critically analyzing the film, that I feel is a major flaw in the film, that it does not tell you where it is building towards. It's just it's just scene after scene after scene, and suddenly it gets to a point. But the how they have made it is amazing. But not knowing that is just um, you'll have to just take it page by page, scene by scene, and wait for it to reveal itself. uh, I think that for me is one of the biggest flaws of the film when I'm critically analyzing them.
And maybe that is a pattern during that time. If you say you had mentioned also that Sixth Sense and those things, all those movies came into that 90s range only during that period time. So maybe they might have following that kind of a pattern that way. And if you noted that it is like a Brooks, I was also here. So that point I felt it is like something that same thing. The whole film trying to the camera, the whole cinematography, everything worked in that way. Existentialism. So they're trying to put it as if if you believe in faith. So that is what. So you would be so that those prisoners won't be able to feel that why I am existing. So when once after they left it, they feel that they are institutionalized and now they don't have any purpose in life. So that purpose, same thing that you also mentioned. So the whole film has no purpose. So what they're trying to do, same thing I also felt. So it's the whole connectivity. Yeah, it went very good. But what is it like that little bit empty feeling? uh, that is what I also had. That
See,
Yeah,
that institutionalization is a I felt bad about it recently. Recently, meaning the last couple of years, when my friend's dog. What happened was, generally dogs have this tendency: you open the door, it will try to run, right? Now, what happened was, my friend's dog. It waited there after the door was opened. It waited there for him to put the leash and strap it. Until that point, it did not move. It was asking for that leash to be put. I felt very bad about it. Felt very sad and bad about it. The whole our suddenly the our um, love towards pets and animals. It did not. It hit me on a very different level. What is the point of we are what we have done with the dog training and all that is I know we are not, these are two different things. We are talking about human beings and animals, but the underlying emotion is the same. It is the normalcy comes to the dog only after that it's used to it now. It's so used to it now, it cannot walk out of the house without that leash. It's the same. The Morgan Freeman asking for a bathroom break is an amazing scene. It's it does not work like that. Outside, it's like but you cannot go to take a bathroom break without asking permission inside a prison. So that the way they they showed that was brilliant. And yeah, and both the actors. I mean, Morgan Freeman, I know is great. I don't know who acted as Brooks. He just pulled it off. I think he's the essence of the film. He's the it is like if Andy stayed in the prison, accepting his fate, he's going to become a Brooks. It is in for me, that Brooks character, I think it represents that whole film, and they did it beautifully.
For some
Yeah,
reason,
I think
the
he's like the
character
center of
reminded me of
tornado. I think the Brooks is like a center of tornado, and he was trying to suck both of them, but Andy gave a purpose to Morgan Freeman, and somehow he came out. That's
Yeah.
what. Yeah.
for some reason he reminded me of this Unnal Mudiyum Thambi, that தாத்தா இருக்கார்ல மரணம் எழுதுறது அந்த ஸ்டேச்சர் அதெல்லாம் நினைக்கிறேன்.
Okay.
And guys, I think we can wrap it up. It was
We can wrap it
excellent discussion. It was intense, and just like how we wanted it going forward, with purposeful thoughts. Like it's not necessary that there should be something data driven and all that. Whatever it is, if the discussion is heartfelt, we'll feel it, right? And it was good to see you guys joining. And next we'll be discussing a Tamil film called Moodar Kudam that will be happening on January 19th. So next
19th.
week there's not going to be any session. The next
Yeah.
week to the January 19th, we will be discussing Moodar Kudam. It's an amazing film if you guys haven't watched. I'm more keen to hear what non-Tamilians think about that film. It's a crazy film for Tamil audience.
Is it available in any OTTs?
It should be.
Okay.
It should be. I'll check that, and I'll message in the group.
Sure.
Yep. Thank
Awesome,
you.
guys. Thank you so much. Thanks, Praveen. Thank you. Greg.
Please
Thanks,
keep joining,
Vikram.
guys.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Get that motivation.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.